welcome to another episode of Good to Go Creations. And this episode we're going to be rebuilding the engine of this 2001 Jeep Wrangler. It's a 2.5. We're going to be putting pistons, rings, bearings, and all the gaskets that you have to replace in order to get to it. We already got the Jeep engine torn apart. We had to get the new pistons hung on the old rods, and now we're just going to start rebuilding it. You ready?
Okay, hopefully don't knock anymore. That's not funny. That's mean.
Step in oil.
Okay, so basically what you need is a basic set of hand tools. The end caps are 12 point, I think, right? They're not. They're 6 point. So it don't matter though. Who cares? Basically, machete is optional. You don't have to have that, but it's a good option to have if you need it. You need this ring compressor to compress rings. Not for your fingers though, for pistons. Assembly lube for bearings. Need a torque wrench that actually works correctly. I have Harbor Freight torque wrenches, but I'm not sure if they're going to be accurate enough for this, so have one that's actually accurate. What's in here? More basic tools. I don't think I'll need any of this stuff. You may need this though when you get mad. So keep that in there though. So yeah, we're ready to go. First, we need to coat the cylinder walls in oily goodness. So you pour it all over your fingers. Just kind of run it all in there. There. That's all oily now, just like my hands. And then we do the same to these. Gotta get these oily little stone things. Yummy.
Is there any proper honing techniques?
Well, you want to go put it slightly in, I think, and go quickly, and then pull it out as it's still moving, because you don't want to scuff it on the way out. That's about as much as I learned from watching other YouTube videos, so I'm just going to do what they do. If they're doing it wrong, I'm doing it wrong. What do you think?
That sounds good to me.
Put this thing in here.
That's good.
Huh?
That's good. Here, all your piston walls should look something like that. So the next step is we're gonna throw these new pistons in here. Show them the lightning bolt on the side.
Room.
Okay, it's time to put the rings on the piston. So first one we put on is this wavy ring.
What's that ring do?
It's part of the oil control ring. It goes on the very bottom groove.
So it matter what way it goes?
I don't think so, because there's nothing to signify which way's up on it. So you just pop that in there like so, and then you got these very fine rings that go on either side of the wavy ring. in the same groove. One goes on top of it, one goes on the bottom. And you just do the same thing. You pop that baby on there. Guess try not to scuff up your piston too bad. I'll put our last thin ring on for the oil control setup here. There we go. Should be careful not snap any. Okay, so that one's done. Now we got our compression rings. Looks like on ours it has a thinner ring that goes in the lower groove. Now these are directional. You got to find the little dot, and the dot is facing towards the top of the piston. You just pop this baby in its groove. These ones are just a lot thicker, so it's a little bit more difficult to get them to get in there. And try not to break it. And it's in. Now we got our thicker ones that go on the top. Same deal. It's got a little dot that faces up. And you just pop that baby in there. Try not to bend them too much to where you mess them up. That's another one done. You're not supposed to get spit on there.
Nah, water's okay. And you just get the little groove chippy thingy into its little location. And press. It's happy days in there. Now we'll do it to the other one. And we're ready to clock all these rings into location. You want me to do that live?
Now, their next bit is we got to use this ring compressor tool, and we have to squeeze down these rings so then we can pop it down into where it goes in the engine. There you go.
Thanks.
But before we do that, we need to clock these springs correctly. So
What does that mean?
Oh, I'll say what it means.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Basically, I think they should probably look up.
They should look up their own vehicle because it may be different.
Yeah, look up your own vehicle.
But in general,
not even 100% on the information we got's correct. So you might want to look this up.
That's what Summit says. Who knows they're right because they're stupid.
Yeah. So anyway, you can see You can see on this camera that that's supposed to be facing towards the front of the engine, and we got this is piston number 1. It was labeled on the cap. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to, according to our information, we line up the wavy ring on the very bottom, the gap to the wavy ring, if I can find it.
It's like a point.
Yeah. Hold on. Just wait. I found it. I found it. Okay. So I found the gap for the oil control, the wavy ring, and according to our information, on this, we're supposed to be facing opposite direction as the front of the piston. Okay, and then we take our 2 thin rings that go on either side and space them out. Oh, sometimes it's like super good production quality right here. I got the gap for the wavy ring right here, lined up with the piston pin, and the bottom wavy ring here, or the thin ring, and the other one over here. Okay, now that we got our rings all clocked properly, we put this on there very carefully. Try not to mess up all your rings. Okay. Now you clamp this down. Okay. Now we get ready to put this in the Jeep. Oh, also, you might want to put some rubber hose or something on the bottom of the rod so you don't scuff everything up while you're sending it down in there. You want to rub some oil in your cylinder. And make sure you put your piston in the right way. Our piston have arrows, so it faces the front.
What else could their piston say?
I don't know.
Could say to the front, maybe? Oily goodness.
Now you take the wooden part of your hammer,
Or rubber.
yep, and just tap them down in there. There you are, one piston installed. Okay, we got all our pistons in the cylinder walls. We put assembly lube on all the bearings. Now it's time to torque them down. We have information that tells us that they're supposed to be, the caps are supposed to be torqued down to 33 foot-pounds. So we got our torque wrench out. I'm going to crawl underneath that Jeep and torque them down to 33 foot-pounds. We didn't really find anything about if there's like a step procedure like a cylinder head would have, like torque it like this, and you know, first to this and then to that. So I'm just going to slowly tighten both sides until, try to tighten them evenly, not just get one all the way tight and then get the other one all the way tight. I don't know if you're supposed to do that or not, but I'm going to switch them up, if that makes any sense. It's getting late. So I'm going to crawl underneath there and torque them down. He's going to try to film me, but I'm going to be laying underneath, so there's not really room for a camera. And he's going to bring me the caps as I request them. And as we tighten them down, we got our bolt in the crank. So as I tighten them down, he's going to spin it to make sure it's not getting too hard to turn, because if it starts getting really hard to turn the crank, something's messed up and you're going to have to figure out what's going on. You might have like a burr underneath in the bearing or something. So you want to make sure that crank still spins relatively freely as you're torquing down your caps. Alright, we got all our caps tightened down. Now you should take it and spin it by hand. It shouldn't be that hard to turn, and this is really easy. So we know everything, there's nothing in there and the bearings screwing anything up. That's it. Tell them what we're doing.
Finishing the Jeep.
No, I mean, like, talking about the lifters and stuff.
Oh, we're soaking lifters in oil. The new ones.
Why do we do that?
So they have oil in them for when you start. They have to pump up. And if there's nothing in there, then they won't pump up as fast, I guess.
Is that all?
That's all as of now. And Andrew needs to put the starter on the Jeep. we just got done cleaning the engine over here. As you can see, the block is prepared as good as it's gonna get to put a head gasket on with the new head. So next, we need to put the lifters back into the engine, because if you put the head on first, they're gonna not be happy because you're gonna take it off. So that's what we're gonna do. Come follow us. So we put the lifters soaking in this what appears to be dirty oil. It's not actually dirty. It's oil from the Jeep, but the Jeep only had 100 miles on it since the last oil change. So now I gotta go fishing in this mess. I should probably find something to put under this as I take it to the truck. You shine a light inside the engine so I can actually see something.
Alright, so we got the rotating assembly back in, we got the timing chain back in. We put a new oil pump in it. I know we didn't film that, but it was kind of difficult because the Jeep's just sitting on the ground, so there's not a lot of room. But that's pretty much how you put pistons in. To see the rest of how the Jeeps go back together, you can refer to our Jeep Cherokee cylinder head replacement. That's basically the same engine as this, minus a couple cylinders or plus a couple cylinders. And that'll give you in detail process of how it all goes back together after this. Wasn't too bad. You know, this is the first time we've rebuilt one of these, so it seems like there's always some sort of an issue that you gotta expect to happen. But is there anything you'd like to add to that statement?
I'm tired. I'm sick of this stupid thing. I wish it was done.
So, not sure what our next video will be, but I'm sure Andrew's not going to be happy about it. And we'll see you next time.